Hello, I'm DeDe. In this 30-minute yoga session, we'll enjoy a practice which challenges our balance. So make sure you're near a wall, a sturdy chair, or a countertop if you need some light support. Otherwise, you'll just be out where you have a lot of space. We'll do some single balance poses, and we'll also perform them together in pairs if that's suitable for you. Here's what you'll need. A yoga mat, unless you're on carpet, and then you might be okay. A towel. I have a bath-sized towel. You can have a smaller towel if you'd like. And of course, some water for hydration. As always, feel free to take off your shoes and socks. Make sure you have plenty of room around you and you're near your light support if you need it. And remember to always move at your own mindful pace. So we're going to start out seated, so come on down and join me in a seated position. So you'll want to carefully come down. However you come down to the floor is fine, as long as it feels safe and comfortable for you. Now I'm going to sit on the edge of my folded towel because that's a little more comfortable for me. And it allows my pelvis to rock forward, which allows me to sit up with greater ease. You might want to do the same thing. And then if having your feet in closer to you like this isn't comfortable for your knees, or your knees are up this way, try taking your feet a little further forward and see if that helps you with knee height and knee comfort. And then we'll sit up tall and straight, so the ears are over the shoulders and the shoulders are over the hips. Let's relax the arms. You can have your palms down, palms up. You can even have your hands together if you'd like, but we will be here for a few moments and your shoulders might get tired. And you can leave your eyes open or you can close them. And we're just going to spend a moment doing some deep, centering breathing. Breathe in and out through your nose if possible. Really settle into your position. Anything that doesn't need to be contracted or tense right now, just let it go. Think about starting the inhale down lower in your lungs than you normally do. Normally we breathe in the upper half of our lungs, in the chest and shoulder area. Let's see if we can breathe a little lower than that. Start the inhale down lower than your chest. That start to occur to you that are not relating to what's happening right now, just push those thoughts aside for now and stay with the present moment. Maximum expansion outward through your side ribs. See what that does for the depth of your breathing. Eyes are closed, let them open. And let's change the way we have our legs arranged. So if you had your right leg in front, make it your left leg in front now. Or whatever makes this position a little bit different so we can be symmetrical and balanced. Now turn your palms forward. Inhale, draw your arms back to open your chest. And then exhale, bring your palms together in front of you. And we'll do that a few times. So if sitting on the floor does not work for you at all, during the times where we're sitting on the floor like this, you can sit in a chair. You can sit on your couch. It's not vital that you sit on the floor in order to get all these benefits of deep breathing and chest and shoulder opening. What really is important is that you do your yoga however it shows up in your life, whether it's with me, with someone else, whether it's on the floor or in a chair. Now let's lift the chest up a little bit higher, a little bit more stretch that way, and then let the chest drop back down to where it was. Really open the arms out. Bring them up a little bit if you can. Notice how this motion lends itself to the breathing. Take our hands down to our lap. Keep breathing though. And now let's start to do some torso circles. Now at first you might want to keep your eyes on one stationary point. With our torso in motion like this, if our eyes are also in motion, it can be a little bit disorienting. But if you don't have any hint of disorientation, then you can let your eyes go wherever your head goes. Even relax your neck a little bit more. Now as you get to the back this time, reverse. Same thing, eyes on one point, or if you're okay with it, neck is a little bit more relaxed, and eyes are going wherever. Feel what's happening in your torso muscles, your back, your abdominals, your waist muscles. And if you're doing this more relaxed neck, can you feel what's happening in your neck and your upper back? And then we'll come back to the center, and we'll inhale the arms out to the sides, and we'll exhale over, and then we'll switch. Stretch through your waist, maybe through your shoulders, your arm. Let's come back to the center now, and then we'll press our palms together. Keep breathing. We'll go side to side with our hands. Here to do some yoga too, Prissy? Maybe your pets are with you right now too. Now let's take the fingers around in a circle. So the arms stay relatively still, but the hands are in motion. Going in one direction. And then reverse. In a moment, we're going to have some weight on our hands, so we just want to prepare the wrists and the hands and the forearms for that. One more. Okay, now we're going to turn sideways so we can utilize our mat fully. If you're using a mat and you have it in the same orientation that I do, then you're turning sideways. And if you're sitting on your towel, you might be able to forego the towel now. If you're in a chair or on a couch, you can still do this twist. You'll just be sitting upright. Now we'll take the hands down, or if it feels better, you can bring your fists down. Your knees are bent, your feet are apart, a little wider than your shoulders. Keep your chest lifted here. Inhale, and on the exhale, your knees go to one side and you pull your opposite shoulder back. And then inhale to the center, and we'll go the other way. Now we're going to turn our entire body. So inhale, just like before. Exhale, your knees go over, but we'll take the hands around and we'll turn the chest. So that's the exhale. That feels so good on the back, doesn't it? Inhale back to the center and exhale around to the other side. Your hands go behind you, alongside you, and then we'll do it again. Everything's moving. Your head, your neck, your feet, and everything in between. Okay, now we're coming back to the center, and then we're turning over onto our hands and knees. So for this, if you're like me, you're going to want to have some extra padding underneath your knees. So take your folded towel and put it underneath your knees. Now, once again, you have the option of being up on your fists or flat down on your palms. You choose. In any event, you want your wrists directly under your shoulders and your knees directly under your hips. Press your shoulders down away from your ears. Draw your abdominals up and in. Keep your back neutral. Now let's work with our arms at first. So we inhale, and on the exhale, we reach the right arm forward with the thumb up. Inhale to bring it down. Now your left arm, exhale, it goes forward. Let's keep doing this. So we're already starting to challenge our balance a little bit here. Anytime we have 4 parts of our body on the floor like this, and then we take one away, that creates a little bit of balance challenge. Can you feel it? It's going to get a little bit more challenging here if you want it to. So let's take our hands down now. Inhale. This time it's your leg. Make sure you have plenty of room behind you. Your right leg goes back, you flex the foot, push out through the heel. And then inhale, come down. Exhale, straighten your left leg out. Let's keep doing this. Now we're not trying to go high with our leg. We're just trying to go in line with the hip. And we're also trying to keep our low back braced and stationary. And we're trying not to collapse through our shoulders, so keep pushing the ground away with your hands. Are you ready to add your arm to your leg? So right leg, left arm this time. Inhale. And exhale, reach them out. Inhale, come down. Exhale, the opposite side goes this time. Let's keep going with this. So now we've taken 2 of our parts off the ground, 2 out of 4. So when we take away 2 points of contact with the floor out of 4, that's definitely a balance challenge. Now right leg, left arm, reach and hold and keep breathing and keep pushing the ground away with your right hand and your left knee. And then let's inhale and come down. On the exhale, reach your opposite side. Reach, push the ground away, keep breathing. And then we'll come down with our hands on our knees, and we'll sit back into child's pose. Remember all the options here: knees apart, stacking your hands, resting your forehead on your hands or on your cat, or sitting further back. Now you're always welcome to rest. Anytime that you need to skip something or you just need a break, you're always welcome to rest. Child's pose is a good resting pose, or you can choose a different one that works better for you. It's always okay to rest. All right, so now we'll get a little bit warmer still. We'll warm up our upper body, so extend your arms forward from your child's pose. And then we'll come forward. Now, if your knees were very wide apart, you might need to move them closer together. So inhale forward here, the kneeling plank position. Exhale all the way back. And let's do that again. If you need to be on your fists, make sure that you switch to fists on your way forward. And that looks like this. And then you switch back. Now full plank this time with your toes tucked under and your knees up. And then downward facing dog. Now back into plank. And back into child's pose. And we'll go again. Moving with your breath. That's typically what we do with yoga, especially when we're flowing from one place to the next. The breath sets the perfect pace. I hope you're feeling warmer here. I know I am. This time we stay in our downward facing dog. So when you get there, stay there. Press your heels down one at a time. Unlock your elbows here if they're locked. How does your breathing feel now that you're semi-inverted? Okay, now you're sideways to me. I hope you're in the same orientation that I am. So we're going to take our foot that's furthest away from one another and we'll step it forward. And take a second step. If you don't get quite all the way up, take a second step. Now drop your knee that's closest to me down, and then we'll inhale and come up. Hands on your hips, sink into your front knee. Make sure your front knee is over your ankle. Draw your elbows back and breathe. So you want to make sure your hips are at least a little bit forward of your back knee. It doesn't have to be a lot, but you do want to get some stretch going in the front of your hip. All right, and then we take our hands down. Now we're getting to the other side this way. We're tucking the back foot. We're walking hand over hand. We're turning the feet. And then we're dropping, hopefully, the knee that's closest to one another down on the folded towel. And then here we are on the other leg. Take your hands to your hips. Open up your chest. Make sure your shoulders aren't coming up towards your ears now. Relax those down. Can you get your hip forward of your back knee, a little bit forward? All right, and then we're coming up. We're going to be facing one another, standing up. So turn your toes, walk your hands around, and we probably won't need our folded towel for now. So put that off to the side. Take your hands on your legs. About halfway up, stay here and breathe. And then we're coming up, straightening out the legs, the toes are turned out. Inhale, exhale, sit your hips back, bend your knees, take your hands in front of your heart. And we'll do that again. Remember, you're moving at the pace of your breath. right, now take your hands onto yoga blocks, onto stacked books, onto the floor if you can, and turn your toes straight on toward me. Let your head drop down. And then lift your torso. Inhale, let your arms straighten a bit. And then exhale and drop down again. Let's do that a few more times. And one more like this. All right, stay lifted, keep breathing. Turn your toes out again. Bend your knees a little bit. Transfer your hands up onto your legs and hold it about halfway up. And then we'll come all the way up. Now we bring the legs together. Mountain pose. So feet under hips, body in one straight, strong column. Now I'm going to turn sideways to you. You don't have to do that. You can still face me if you'd like. Let's place our hands on our hips. Eyes are open, eyes are forward on a focal point. Take your right leg back behind you. Bend your standing knee a little bit, and then we'll tip forward. Hands on the hips, that's going to show us whether we're tilting the hips or not. Try not to tilt your hips. We're standing up and we're switching legs. Left foot out behind you, soften your standing leg, find your focal point. Maybe your focal point shifts downward as you tip, whatever works best for you. I was suggesting a few minutes ago that you're near a wall or a countertop or a sturdy chair if you need to be. Just a reminder to do that if you need to. And then we're standing back up. How's that feeling so far? We're going to build on that. Right foot back, shoulders away from ears, soften standing leg, tip forward. This time, one arm comes out. How about your right arm? Straight out from your shoulder like a wing. And then we're coming back up. Hand comes back into the hip. Switch feet. Left foot out behind. Soften the standing leg, tip, and then take your left arm out like a wing. And then we'll tip back up, hand goes back on the hip, switch legs again. Same setup, tip, how about both arms out? And then we'll tip back up. This time, join your hands together in front of your heart center. Take your left leg out, tip, arms come out. See if you can maintain your level pelvis here. And then we'll tip back up and both feet come down. How are you doing? Are you able to balance? Make sure you clear your mind. If a lot of thoughts start to accumulate while you're balancing, just turn the volume down in your head. Now I'm going to get something that you don't have to have, but I just want to show you that you can use something like a half foam roller. This is a small size foam roller. If you don't have yoga blocks, anything that's sturdy that you can put your hand on to steady yourself, including the seat of a chair. So use a chair if you need one. You might need one for this next pose. All right, so I'm going to be turning my back to you, so I want you to watch first. So we take the left leg back, we tip, we take our right hand down onto this surface. It can also be on your shin or on the floor. I'm just showing it this way. And then we turn our navel to the left, and we raise our left arm up. So this is half moon pose. Okay, so we'll do it together now. Taking your right leg back. Right leg back, tip. Find whatever you're going to put your hand on, even if it's the floor, find the floor. And then turn your navel to the right and raise your right arm up. Keep breathing. Keep focusing on your focal point. And then we'll tip back up. Take your time. Let your leg counterbalance your torso. And then we'll switch legs. So the left leg will go back, and your right hand will go on your elevated surface if you're using one. Push out through your lifted heel. Turn your pelvis. Now your standing leg is not turning. Your standing leg is still facing forward, but your pelvis is turning. And then we'll tip back up. Let your leg counterbalance your torso. And then we'll come back to mountain pose. How did you do with that? That was half moon pose. So we're stringing these balance poses together. It requires extra effort, and muscular endurance, and joint stability. All right, let's do one more round. Right leg back, tip forward. You can bring your arms out like airplane wings. And then we will turn to the right with our pelvis. And then we'll lift the arm and the leg up. And then we'll slowly rise up. And we'll switch sides. This is our last round. Make sure that whatever you're putting your hand on is available to your hand. This time it's going to be our right hand. Left leg back, arms can come out. And then we'll turn the pelvis. We'll raise the left arm and leg up for half moon. All right, and then we're rising back up. And back to our mountain pose. Remember, you could be flat against a wall doing that if you need to be. It's really a nice way to learn it because you feel secure leaning into the wall. All right. Now, if you were using something and it's in your way, get it out of the way now. We're coming back down to our seated position. So if you need to sit in the chair, or if you need to come back to your couch, go ahead and do that. I'm going to sit back down on my folded towel. This time I'll be sideways to you. And then we're placing the soles of our feet together. And we're leaning forward into cobbler's pose. Now if your knees are up, you can move your feet further forward. Let's move into a cross-legged position, kind of the way we started, and then we'll lean forward, feeling the stretch through the hip. And then we're coming up, and we're reversing the leg that's in front. Inhale, and exhale sitting all the way up. So, how did you do? Single balance poses are challenging when you do one at a time. Stringing them together like we did, it creates a greater demand for stability, muscular endurance, muscular strength, and confidence. So I hope you feel confident. Even if you weren't able to perform all of them back to back to back today, you will be able to eventually. Thank you for joining me, but more importantly, thank yourself for being here and taking good care of you. Until next time, be well.